achieving the natural look unnaturally. Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Buy Stuffy Next. So today I'm gonna be doing a little fake freckles tutorial for you, and I hope you're excited, because I sure am. I don't know what that was, okay, moving on. So this is really weird, but one day over the summer, I was using Snapchat. I was using the freckles filter. It kind of puts a flower in your hair and gives you freckles. You know the one. And I was just looking at the picture after I took it. I'm like, this is so cute. I wish that I had freckles for real. So I kind of looked up how to do it, and I saw a whole bunch of different techniques, and I tried them all out, and I came up with the absolute best one. That's what I'm gonna show you today. But I'm also gonna tell you about some of the other ones that I tried out that didn't work out quite as well. So if you're unsure where to start, I will walk you through the whole thing, what you want to stay away from and what you want to look for in a product, and really the best way of applying it so it looks totally natural. Okay, and then one more thing right before we go into the actual application of the freckles. I was really nervous before I started doing fake freckles that they would look really unnatural, and that I wouldn't want anyone to get too close to me because they'd be able to see it sitting on my skin. But this got tested the first time that I went out and my friends saw the freckles. One of my friends is like, oh my god, I love your freckles. I didn't know you had freckles. And I'm like, yeah, I don't, they're fake. And you know what she did? She went right up to my face and stared at them, which made me feel so uncomfortable because I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna be able to see the dots. And she's like, oh my god, I would never be able to tell if you didn't tell me. So this passes the 2 inches away test. They look natural, so you don't have to worry about that. It's been tested through me. You're welcome. And shout out to my friend who got all up in my face. I know you're watching. Okay, and I think we're finally ready. I can actually put the fake freckles on my face, show you how to do it so it's gonna give you the most natural result. And I feel like I keep saying the word natural. Probably every 30 seconds at least, I'm saying the word natural. So just for fun, I feel like I should put a little tally in one of these corners right here of every time I say the word natural. Just to see. Just to show how I have zero vocabulary. So let's do it. This should be fun and really just embarrassing. Okay, with the tally started, let's get right into it so we can all achieve natural, beautiful freckles. And go. Okay, so first things first, I'm just gonna be applying my normal base. So for me, that's primer, BB cream, under eye concealer, and loose powder. So I'm gonna do all that, and then I'll meet you back here in a sec. Okay, we back, base is done. I just wanna talk about my choice of a BB cream for this look. With the fake freckles, we're trying to mimic the look of actual, real natural freckles. And if you put on full coverage foundation on top of real freckles, they would disappear. So keeping it a little sheer with your base will just help kind of sell the freckles a bit better. Okay, so real quick, I just want to talk about the powder. So I did already use powder. I set down my base with the Laura Mercier powder. And usually the rule is you're not supposed to put liquid products on top of powder. And the product that I'm using for the freckles is liquid. So that's usually a no-go. But when I would draw on my freckles right on top of my base makeup without having to set it first, what would happen is it kind of melted into the face makeup and it would disappear a lot faster. So setting the base with powder and then doing the freckles on top of that kind of just separates the liquid of the freckles with the liquid from the face makeup, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't melt in. So yeah, if you want, you can experiment both ways because I know it does sound weird doing it on top of powder, but that's what I've learned over my many months of drawing on freckles. It's been 2 months. That's not that many. But I know what I'm talking about, okay? Trust me. Okay, moving on. There's actually one more step in my makeup routine that I do before I draw on the freckles, and that is bronzing. So for bronzer today, I'm gonna be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. When I'm not doing freckles in my look, I literally just skip bronzer entirely. But to really sell the freckles, I add in just this one step of bronzer to give me that sun-kissed look. It just kind of ties the whole thing together. So I just pick up some of the product on a contour brush and I just bronze the perimeters of my face. Okay, so now we're all bronzed up, and I'm just gonna go in with a bit of contour on my cheekbones and nose just to finish the job. Okay, and now we're done with that, and it's freckles time. Let's get frecky. Okay, so for the freckles, product and technique are extremely important. I experimented for weeks trying to figure out the best fake freckle method. There were some fails along the way, but finally we got to a winner. Just to share what I actually tried, I started out with a brown powder and a stippling sponge, and I just kind of bounced it in the powder and kind of tapped it on my face, and I'll give it to you, it was a very fast method, but it kind of just looked like dirt, not really like freckles. And as the day went on, it went from dirt to just a brown smudge across my face. It was not cute and definitely not freckles. So that was a fail. So I thought maybe since the powder kind of just smeared everywhere, we could try a cream product, see if that works. So I got a cream contour palette, e.l.f. Great product, but not so good for fake freckles. So I did the same thing, stippling sponge right in the brown shade, and I tapped it, and it wasn't, I'll show you on the back of my hand. It gave me kind of the same result as the powder. It just looked like dirt, but maybe even worse because it didn't even like stay. It kind of went on like the dirt and came off pretty quickly. So again, not a winner. This whole thing was getting pretty frustrating and pretty expensive. Just kept buying products and they weren't working. But finally, I found a product that worked so much better than the rest and really gave me a natural result, and that is eyebrow pens. For this method, you can really use any eyebrow pen that you can find that has a felt tip. That's important. You don't want like a thick line or whatever. Felt tip, brow pen, that's what you're looking for. The ones that I'm using are actually, I got them on Amazon. They were the only ones with 1-day delivery, and I was really impatient because I kept trying out methods that weren't working. I'm like, I want this to work and I want it now. So I got it. I got it the next day. So this is the brow definer from the brand Jolie, and I actually got it in 2 shades, soft taupe and dark taupe. You'll see how I use the 2 different shades in a second. It just helps to give a more natural look. Oh, I just realized my hair is still clipped back. Let's get that out of there. Okay. Much better. Okay, so I'm gonna be linking these pens down in the description box. Don't you worry, all the information will be there for you, because I got your back, dudes. Okay, so anyway, for the actual freckles, let's get into how I do it. Okay, hi, what's up? Nice and close. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with the soft taupe, the lighter color of the 2. You can really just do this all with 1 color, but I like how the 2 kind of gives a little more dimension. So if you have to, start with the lighter color. So the technique, what I'm doing is I'm just tapping really lightly and making little dots kind of close together in little clusters. I'm not doing like one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. It's just gonna like end up being too spaced out, and you're gonna wanna like go back and kind of fill it in. So right from the start, I'm just gonna take the pen and just dot, 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 close together, dot, 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 all around. And that's how we're doing it. Dot, dot, dot. You can see that some are a little thicker and some are a little thinner, and that's literally just from the amount of pressure that I'm putting, and I'm really trying to be very light with it, but some will just inevitably end up thicker, so you know, you roll with it, it's all good. So I'm just gonna continue making the little dots down the side, and I'm starting, if it's a little too big, you just kind of dab that with your finger, make it lighter, and it's fine. So I'm kind of going from the top of my nose here down a little bit past halfway, but I'm not going like all the way down to the end. Natural freckles are kind of just like towards the top of the nose, top of the cheeks, so that's what we're gonna mimic here. And I already have some freckles, so I'm not gonna do it on top of that. I'm just gonna kind of fill in where I don't have freckles. So now that I kind of did both sides, I'm just gonna go along the bridge of my nose, and you might see I have a little mark there, and it's my dog's tooth knocked into my nose. Don't even ask how that happened, but it did. So I purposely didn't cover it with concealer to show you that just by making the freckles, you can hide blemishes real easily. So to hide that little mark, I'm not gonna draw a freckle right on top of it like you might think, because that'll bring attention to it, because that freckle is gonna look different than it looks on the rest of your skin, especially if that was like a pimple, you know, it's definitely a different texture than your skin. So you're gonna see that freckle like stand out more. So what you're gonna do is just kind of draw freckles around it, and it will camouflage because it's gonna get lost in the whole look of the freckles. And you don't have to get absolutely everywhere. We do have the other color that's just gonna help you fill in any gaps you have after. Just kind of sit back, see what you're missing. And then I just kind of bring it up a little higher, and I do 1 or 2 kind of just in between my brows. Little side over there, kind of just like fill it in to help it look a little more natural. Word of the video, natural. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna move on to the cheeks, and I'm gonna just kind of follow the line, keep it at the top of my cheeks, kind of go out to here, but as we go out, kind of just fade it out. You're gonna have it a little heavier here and just kind of space it out a little more over there. And for this, I definitely go a little faster. I don't have to be as careful with where I place it. When you're doing it on the nose, it's a little more difficult. With placement on the cheek, you can kind of just dot, dot, dot. And I'm just gonna place a few right underneath my eye. Keep it all blended up nicely. And then out here, just kind of do a couple. Looks good, and other side. Okay, and this is what it's looking like so far. It's coming together nicely. So now I'm done with the soft taupe pen, and I'm gonna go in with the dark taupe pen. And I'm just gonna kind of dot this, not everywhere like I did with the soft taupe, but kind of just like fill in some areas, add a few darker ones just to give it some dimension. This also kind of just helps give you a chance to like look back at everything, make sure that you don't have any gaps that you missed with the first pen. And yeah, I think that kind of completes the freckles. So I did draw on a lot of freckles today, and this is kind of like my full freckle look, but some days, depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going, I might draw on some less if I don't want as big of a statement look with the freckles. So you can definitely like vary that. But anyway, let's set the freckles. So I'm just gonna be using the same Laura Mercier, I don't know why I just forgot the name, Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I'm just gonna pick this up on my powder brush, and I'm just going right over the freckles. You don't have to be careful that they're gonna like move around or fade away. They really set basically right away. This stuff does not move, especially when you set it with the powder. Okay, and then next I go back in with the butter bronzer, and I just put this right across the bridge of my nose and my cheeks, right where the freckles are. Natural freckles form where the sun hits you on your face. So if you kind of give yourself a fake tan right over the freckles, it just makes it look way more natural. Back and forth right over the center and right over the cheeks. Just the tops like this. Okay, so hopefully you can tell what that did, even though I have lights kind of shining bright on my face, but it kind of just brings the sun to your fake freckles. And for the very final step to really bring it home, I'm gonna go in with my blush just on my cheeks like normal, but then also just right over my nose a little bit to really sell that we were out in the sun and got freckles. It didn't happen, but we're gonna pretend it did. Okay, so the blush I'm using is a pink toned blush from Becca. It's in the shade Flower Child. Just gonna pick some up, apply it to the cheeks. Like I said, just along the top of the bridge. So that's what the blush looks like. Little things that kind of just, you know, bring it all together. Oh, and I almost forgot highlighter. Silly me. I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the shade Iced Latte. I'm just gonna go in real quick on my cheekbones and nose to just finish the face. It's totally fine to do this on top of the freckles. They don't move at all. They're totally set in place. Little there, little there. It's not the most blinding highlight, but it really just helps add light to the right places because we had the bronzer adding the shadows and now the highlighter's adding the light and the blush added some color. So we really got, you know, all this stuff working together to give you that really natural look. You knew I was gonna say it, didn't you? Okay, so I'm just gonna real quick finish the rest of my face. It has nothing to do with the freckles anymore, so I'm just gonna do it off camera, and we'll be back in a second to discuss. See you soon. Okay, there we go. The rest of the makeup is complete. I just want to set it all down with some setting spray. I'm using the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray Oil Control version just to really make sure these freckles aren't going anywhere. So just a few sprays of that and we'll be set. Okay, awesome. So with the rest of the makeup that I did, I just kind of kept it pretty natural. Add one to the tally. The thing is though, you can totally pair these freckles with a super glam look. It's just like a fun extra step. It kind of just makes everything else look more effortless. It really changes like how everything comes off. It's pretty cool. Oh, and I forgot to even check in with this, but I wanted to show you about that blemish. So I have that blemish right there, and like, you can't see it. It's totally hidden by all the freckles around it without any concealer on top of it. Super light BB cream. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that it's like really crazy that these freckles like can hide stuff that you don't want to show. Okay, zoom back out. Okay, and before I close out the video, I just want to real quick say something about the brow pens. I was a little nervous buying these through Amazon that they might be like a real cheapy product. It's just gonna like dry out in a week, but I've been using these for 2 months every time I do my makeup, and it definitely feels like there's a bunch left. I mean, I put it on and it's like strong color. So I would definitely recommend these pens, but really you can use whatever you find, like from Sephora, Ulta. Drugstores probably have a whole bunch of brow pens, but this is just what I've been using and I like it. The only tip I'd say is to store them upside down. That just keeps the product right at the tip and you won't have to like shake it up to like get it ready to go when you want to do your freckles. Just keep them stored upside down so they don't dry out. Cool. Okay, and that wraps it up. I think we're totally done with this fake freckles tutorial. I hope I was very clear, answered any questions that you might have had. If you've been thinking about maybe trying out the fake freckles trend and you're a little nervous, don't be. It's no big deal. If you put it on and it looks crazy, you can wipe it off, try it again. It's not a commitment. It's fine if you wear it one day and you don't wear it the next. No one's really gonna notice. But it's just something fun that you can try out, see what you think. I ended up absolutely loving it and I've been wearing it every time I do my makeup now, so you might like it, I might change your makeup game, so go for it, have fun. And with all that said, if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you leave a like down below. That'll let me know you like this type of content and I can do more tutorials in the future for you. If you're interested in seeing more of like a glam full face tutorial with the freckles, let me know down in the comments. I could do that if you're interested, so just let me know. And since you've stuck around this long, why don't you go right ahead and just join the By Steffi Nicks fam. All you gotta do is hit the big red subscribe button down below. You know, my jacket has been like a reminder this whole video that you can subscribe by hitting that big red subscribe button. So go do it. And if you hit the little notification bell right next to it, my clothes don't remind you of that, but I'll remind you. Hit the little button right next to it. That's gonna give you a little notification every time I upload a video, so you're never gonna miss out on any content that I post for you. We have fun here. We would love to have you, so all you gotta do is just go hit the buttons and you can be part of this. Isn't that cool? It is. Okay, and I think that kind of wrapped up everything I wanted to say, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video for you today. Hope you enjoyed watching it. And as always, this was By Steffi Nicks. Bye.